Okay. Hello. Good morning. And welcome to Makeup with Meesh, the show where you get ready with me in the morning before I head into work. All right. We have a slew of appointments and meetings this morning, so we were like dropping one kid off, the other one's out there, dentist appointment, all that. So I had to organize all of that before I could hop on the stream. All right, I have already done my moisturizer and primer. I went ahead and did that to let it sit. We are still dealing with this situation. Thank you for noticing. I've taken the medication. I think it's getting better, but I just feel like they just don't look better until they're gone. So, yeah, that's rough. But we will persist. All right, so since I've already done my sunscreen and moisturizer, I'm going to do about 1.5 pumps of the Marshmallow Primer by NYX. I've been using primers kind of like off and on. I mean, I feel like I can't tell a huge difference necessarily between when I use it and when I don't. So, I don't know, it's really hard for me to say that, like, I don't know if I just haven't found like a truly amazing primer or if they're just not that meaningful in my makeup routine, but I don't know. I mean, I get the concept of them. Like, I listened to a podcast yesterday that was talking about primers, and the girl on it was like, do I need to get a primer for my makeup? Because I'm just like, I feel like it's not stain, and I feel like the setting spray is really what's going to make the difference in its stain, which seemed a little contradictory because it's not like eyeshadow primer, but I think a setting spray is what's going to help there. But also, they were explaining like how primers work, and they were like, okay, if you put foundation on an orange, you're going to see the little like dimples in the orange skin, right? You're going to see all those bumps, which, is like an oversized pore, kind of, in theory. And so if you go in and put a primer on, it'll fill in all those crevices. So that way, by the time you get around to your foundation, it will lay a lot flatter and smoother. So I'm all about covering up the pores, so I'll take it if that's supposedly what it does. But I can't say I just notice a difference, honestly, between when I wear a primer and when I don't. But I have heard, oh wait, no, that was the Fenty setting spray. I was going to say, I heard the Fenty primer is good, but they actually didn't reference a primer now that I'm thinking about it. They just mentioned the Fenty setting spray instead, which I have not tried a ton of the Fenty product, but I mean, people rave about them. And I feel like Rihanna's not putting shit out there, so maybe it's worth trying. All right, I am going to not play around too much with the makeup. I'm going to use a lot of my basics today. And the reasoning here is because I am going into the office around lunchtime. It's a late start today because I have an orthodontist appointment this early afternoon. My daughter has a dentist appointment, and my husband's going to take her to, like, now. And then I've got a couple of meetings. Ah, that's funny. Yeah, I've got a couple of meetings this morning, and I'm going to just take from home since I have that orthodontist appointment. And then I'm going to head downtown and take the rest of my meetings and go into the office today. And I'm doing that because one of the guys on my team recently left to go to Google, and we're throwing him a little happy hour just to say bye to him. And Matt's going to come with me since Matt works at Google. So that way they can meet since they're going to be co-workers now. And then he can meet some of my other team. And I'm actually thinking that like this will be the first time I meet a good bit of the team, unless they've been in the office the days that I've happened to also be there. So that will be nice. All right, so I'm going in with my Tom Ford foundation and just contouring like normal, putting the lighter shades in the area where I would typically put concealer or like cover up type foundation to brighten the area, as well as hide darker circles under the eye or imperfections in the skin or whatever. And then of course the darker shades are acting as my contour shades, as the part where I'm trying to create like dimension depth into the skin, you know, so building a cheekbone right here by putting those darker shades directly underneath it. All right, if you joined yesterday, you know I'm dealing with this right here, which is the world's most disgusting cold sore. For some reason, I'm one of the lucky few that get cold sores on my nose instead of my mouth, which I stand by what I said yesterday. If you get them on your lips, I think, frankly, it's easier to cover. Like, I know they're not fun, and yeah, I mean, they look pretty gross, but I feel like you can go in there with a lip liner and get real aggressive and cover that thing up if you were doing makeup. Like, there is no covering this up. You can't just put foundation and powder over it. One, it doesn't even stick to it. It's like, this is disgusting. It's like a scab, and so it's not, the color's not like sticking onto it. And then also, it's like, you know, raised. It's super texturized, and you can tell. So you basically just have to completely ignore it, and there's no hope in covering it up. I will, if I'm going out, I will like use a compress to like make it more flat, and I will dust like translucent powder over it just so it's not so red and obnoxious, but it is what it is. I mean, I can't do anything about it. I mean, I can. I'm taking medication, but I'm using a Breva, but it's not doing much quickly. So, All right. So now that I've done the initial foundation layer, I'm going to go in with a the eye brightening setting powder by Laura Mercier under my eyes, just to kind of set that foundation. And that just basically like seals it in without adding color or a ton of weight to it. So this will help when I bring in my eyeshadows in a second and I start seeing fallout powder hit my cheeks. It'll help it wipe away so that I'm not left with a bunch of dark circles that I quite literally just tried to cover up. You feel? Yas. All right. And I'm going to go in with, oops. It's a little too aggressive there. Got that on the skin, not the actual hair. Okay. So I'm going to go in with the NYX brow mascara to darken these babies up. It is definitely time for me to dye these, which reminds me, I keep needing to place an Amazon order to get more of this dye. Last time I tried to do it, they were out, and then I had to order a smaller package. It only had 4. The ones that I get usually have like 20 little dye capsules, and I keep forgetting, and I'm pretty sure, let's see. Oh, I have 1 capsule left, so I can dye them, but then I'm out. But I need to remember to go in and order that stuff, because brows frame the face. They're critical. All right, what am I doing? Eyeshadow. All right, so I am wearing a pink dress tonight. So I think I'll do a little bit. Are you all done? Great job. Let me see. Oh, those look awesome. You did every one? Okay, perfect. My daughter has just joined the stream. Her birthday's coming up, and she just wrote all of her classroom's names on the invitations that she's going to be handing out today. All right, those look awesome, T. Great job. Or you want to go put those back on the counter and make sure, or with your lunchbox and stuff for Daddy?
I'm going to put it in a little baggie.
Okay, in a little baggie. That's even better. Okay, great. Very important activities we've been doing this morning. Birthday invites. I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, I'm wearing a pink dress. So I'm going to capitalize on the pink dress by doing a pink lid today. Yes. So I'm going to use my Natural Flirt 35XO palette by Morphe. And while I was talking to my daughter, what I was doing was just taking a neutral skin tone color and putting that on the eye to kind of set that primer that I put on earlier. All right. So I just picked up one of the lighter shades of pink in the palette, actually probably a medium shade. And I'm going to go in here and just like build a little bit of an arch. And I'm dusting that on pretty lightly because I'm going to build on top of it. But I want this to kind of be like the plummy pink like gradient shading that comes out of the eye, you know, to where it looks like it kind of fades out. We're getting a visitor again. Oh, T, that's so cute. That's awesome. All right, definitely set those by the door, okay, so that when Daddy gets here to go to your dentist appointment, you have them ready, okay? Okay, no, you can hold them. That's totally fine. Hmm? Yeah, you do. You get a toy at the dentist. That's right. If you can follow instructions, you'll get a coin. You'll get a toy. Hey, love bug, do you need to go potty? Okay. Okay, life with kids. And me leaving this spot just gave you a beautiful view of all of the crap that I haven't hung up yet. It's on the list, but you know, what are you gonna do? All right, so I'm going back in with a little bit more of the pinks to make this a little bit brighter pink. Starting to look a little plummy too, so I might have to combat that. Okay, that one didn't. That one's fine. Alright, I'm just filling in this crease, darkening it up a little bit, and I'm using tighter circles and a little bit more pressure just to make the pigment stick a little more, but still overall pretty light, because I want this to kind of like shade in. I don't want this like super dark like line. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with this deeper pink and try to do more of a dramatic shade right here. So this will deepen the pink color and just bring the eye up, because I'm going to fill in that C with a little bit more color and just giving it a little bit more shape, like so. then I feel like everybody's got a preference on shape here. Because of just my face shape, I do like to bring my eyeshadow out slightly outside of the edge because I kind of wing everything up. That's just what works for me, but you do you. What is it?
That tooth is hurting a lot.
Really? Maybe you have a loose tooth. Let me see. All right, well, I guess that's perfect. You're going to the dentist today, right? So you can tell the dentist what's going on.
No, Tam, no.
Well, we have to tell the dentist. They won't do anything to hurt you. They just need to check on it and make sure it's okay.
It just hurts. It doesn't feel like.
Yeah. Well, sometimes before it gets loose, it can kind of start to hurt a little bit. Yeah, so it might be getting loose. What if it's your first loose tooth? That would be cool, huh?
But sometimes my tooth hurts in mine. I don't understand.
Say that one more time.
Sometimes my tooth hurts, but I don't have a loose tooth.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's about to get loose. That would be so cool.
I stopped thinking
Oh, really? Okay, we'll definitely need to let the dentist know that. No. All right, so I'm going in underneath with some of the pink shades that I used on the top, some of the darker ones, and I'm just kind of like smoking that out with the pink so that it all matches. Okay. All right, and then I'm gonna wipe away anything that might have fallen down, and I'm gonna clean up the top, blend that a little bit better. All right, so I'm gonna go in. I use this. I don't know. It's like a tapered brush, but then the top is the perfect angle to add in like a highlighter color. No. To add in a highlighter color right underneath the brow, but then on the flatter part of the tapered brush to add in more of a neutral skin tone color. So that way it can kind of like lightly blend as I'm highlighting right underneath the brow. So I use two different shades when I do that. And it like just perfectly blends it like that. Makes it super easy. Okay, now I'm going to come in with a little bit of just plain black. Oh, this needs to be sharpened. Plain black eyeliner. And this is not really to add an eyeline, like a stark eyeline. This is more so just to kind of act like a primer and catch the pigment I'm about to put on top of it. Like that, yeah. So think about this kind of like if you were doing like eyelash glue or something, you would obviously put those directly on the eyelashes, but you know, same kind of concept. You're getting like super close to the eye line, but just putting it there so that something will stick on top of it. I swear, right before this stream, I would not have said that I was sick. And I mean, right after the stream, I'm not going to say I'm sick. But it's like something about every time I get on here, it's like it all hits this like sinus stuff. I mean, I've had it for a couple of weeks now because the weather in Austin has just been insane, and it's like 80 degrees one day and then 30 degrees the next, and I think that's just made some sort of like sinus thing go on with like literally everyone I know. So I'm just winging that eye up like that. but it's not going away and it's so annoying. All right, so I'm putting in, this is not even a black, this is like a, what's the best way? It's like a grayish brown, actually. Ooh, that's a lot of fallout on that side. Let's wipe that away. That's some dark circles we don't want. It's like more of a charcoaly. Yeah, more of a charcoaly brown. And I like that because, oh, let me wipe that away. When I add that over the black line right there, it's going to look a little bit darker in the corner. Oh, thank you. Okay, sounds good. Babe, do you have my insurance card? Yes. Yeah, they should have it on file. You should be fine. Okay. I mean, it's hectic this morning, clearly, as y'all can tell. All right, so I've got to clean that up because a little bit of fallout powder fell underneath. Ugh, if I can open this. Oh, and I mean, Kat Von D, so I use the Shade and Light palette. Oh, there we go. They emailed me last night and they were like, oh, we bet you're about to be running low soon. Here's a 10% off coupon. And I was like, funny enough, I am. So I'm going to be placing an order pretty soon for more of this stuff because I use this palette every single day. It's the best palette there is. I actually have not replaced these three ever. And I've had this palette for a while. I've replaced this twice now because I use the lighter shades so much more. The pigment on these is just insane. And I like barely tap the darker contour shades. And since I contour with my foundation, I'm kind of just like going over almost to like set it. Then more so than I am to like add a ton of color. And so I just haven't had to use a ton of the product, which is nice because a little goes a long way and I don't have to replace it. But these two, clearly, like, I get after those. I just replaced those, it feels like in November. So, I mean, that's still quite kind of a while. I replaced it, I remember I ordered on Black Friday, so at the end of November. So, I mean, 3 months or so, not too bad. I mean, I'm using it I use this thing every day, and I use a lot of it. Like, this is the only, like, powdery, powder, really, that I'm putting on my face, other than translucent powder at the end. Because I'm trying to do more creams and liquids to let those sink in so that I'm not ending up with a bunch of powder setting into fine lines. All right. Now I'm going to take just a regular dry face brush and buff all of that out so that it kind of blends in and starts to create more of like a natural gradient that looks natural. All right. I'm being kind of awkward around the nose because there's a situation. We know about it. All right. So you can tell just that, like, that already changes. I mean, that buffs it in really well. This is dark over here. That's really bugging me. I got a little bit too loose with that eyeliner application over here, and a lot of dark stuff fell down. So I am tapping this white, like, concealer powder all the way through here. I just gave myself quite the crooked nose. All right, a little bit more there. And this stuff is pretty creamy. It's like, it reminds me of the Amazonian clay stuff from Tarte. Homegirl's over 30, so you know, fine lines and wrinkles are a real thing, and I don't want to encourage any powders to just settle in them. All right, so I'm using the NARS liquid blush. This is essentially the same concept as foundation. And it's very, very bright when it first goes on, as you can see. But it will melt into the skin just like foundation does and lighten up a good bit. And then, of course, when I buff everything out at the end, it helps to just blend it and make it look a little bit more subtle. Just a subtle blush. All right. On this conversation, but I did have a Starbucks delivery in the meantime, so that's also pretty great because this coffee that I made here sucks ass. I got a bag of Dunkin' Donut coffee. I literally had this conversation with somebody yesterday. We were like, we used to think Dunkin' Donut coffee was so good, and then you realize it's disgusting. Okay. What am I doing? Translucent powder, let's do that. All right, I'm gonna set all of this with some translucent powder. Just a very, very, barely put anything on this brush. I mean, it's translucent anyway, but the goal here is to just, when shine emerges later today, that this kind of helps stop it without adding any extra weight or anything like that onto the skin, because I don't want it to look cakey and heavy. All right, so I'm gonna go in and add a highlighter right here. I have been using this powder highlighter. I know I said earlier that I wasn't really using powders. I wasn't really thinking about this one when I said that. But I have been using this highlighter basically every day. I really, really like it. It has a lighter highlighter shade that I've been putting on top of the cheeks, and then the darker that I've been contouring underneath with. I also use the blush in here a lot, and I really like everything in this palette. But I have some cream contours. I have this liquid highlighter from e.l.f. and the Benefit What's Up highlighter. And I need to try the cream highlighters now that I've been doing the cream blush. I wonder if I should, maybe I should try that tomorrow. I also have, what is this? This is the Multi-Dew. It's like a skin tint highlighter from Huda Beauty, and I need to try all those. Thankfully, the powder one that I've been using doesn't add a lot of heaviness or weight, which is great. But I mean, I have the other ones I still need to try because now that I've tried the liquid blush, I hated it at first, by the way. I think I just didn't really know how to apply it. But now I love the liquid blush and so much better than others. I used to just be very anti cream products because I just felt like you put them on and they moved, they didn't stay put. I don't know. I just something about a cream, a blush or something. I was like, why would you want this? And now I'm realizing, yeah, I guess that comes with age. It's not so much a wisdom thing as it is a necessity. But all right, so since I used a good bit of brown mascara over here, I'm just going in and filling in, the tail and a little bit of the top of the arch. I try to leave the bottom kind of untouched because I like to have more of that natural look on the hairs, so it doesn't look so much like I just drew on an eyebrow. And then, of course, this front section, because I have essentially no hair in the front, despite constant applications of growth serums to make those babies grow. It's not in the cards for me, you know what I mean? Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing over here. I just drew that arch a little high. Got a little bit aggressive there. I'll wipe that out. Alright. And I try not, I'm doing like short little strokes just to fill in, but I try to the best of my ability to avoid like adding into like the center of the brow unless there's like clearly a very patchy hole. One, because I don't want to add too much color. I want to keep them looking a little bit more natural. Like I like a pretty defined brow. But I mean, there's a balance. Like I don't want like, you know, tattooed on brows. But I also can't do that super natural, just like all of them go up look. You know, like that's really in right now. Just like sweep all the hairs in one direction and like seal them. Like I don't have enough hair for that. I just look patchy. It doesn't help define my face at all. And so I like a thicker brow. I'm just adding a clear brow gel to make all those hairs go in one direction. It defines the hairs a little bit more, and for somebody like me that doesn't have a ton of eyebrow hair, I like this because when you get closer to me, I feel like then it makes you see the eyebrow hair and you're like, oh, okay. Like it doesn't look super fake. See? All right. I'm going to go in and add some mascara. I was going to see, I thought I had, oh yes I did, I knew I got that. Okay, so yesterday I was talking about mascara base, which I haven't used in a while. I used to use the Dior one all the time and I loved it. But then, and it lasted forever, but it was pretty pricey. I was still going to buy a replacement tube because it lasts forever, and I really noticed a difference. Like, I definitely felt like it elongated my lashes when I wore mascara, or made, you know, their appearance look longer. And, but I tried the Lash Paradise one, and it was just as good, and I just never picked it up. I don't know why. I just forgot about it. It got some point during quarantine. I just, you know, probably wasn't doing makeup every day until I started this stream, and then a lot of the basics went out the window. I hate. I'm going to have to do the same thing I did yesterday, which is hold this mirror and do my mascara because I'm so close to the camera with this cold sore. I can't. It's so obnoxious, but all right. So all of that to say is that I forgot I had this Lancome eye primer, mascara primer. I might as well try it out today, see how it does. It kind of dries more clear. The Dior one stays white, like the whole time. So basically what this is doing is adding, you know, it's kind of like putting on multiple layers of mascara, but the white layer is supposed to not add that crunchiness that mascara that can happen when you put on multiple layers of mascara. So this will add length and volume to them. Whoa, that's intense. All right. God, I love an eyeshadow or a mascara primer. Why have I not been using this? All right, so I'm going to go over with my normal mascara that I've been using every day just to, so I'm adding in a variable here. Yep, I mean, it's not feeling crunchy. That's good. You know, because if you try to like build mascara, like just the black or brown mascara, whatever you're using, if you try to build that, like you know how after the second coat, like once the air hits it, it starts to dry and then it's like crunchy to put on more layers and then you just get this very spidery looking eye. Yeah, don't love that. So that's why I like the primer, because you can help really lengthen them without having to add a ton of layer, you know. I mean, it's a little stiff. It's definitely stiffer than if I was just putting on mascara for the first time. Or, I mean, not the first time, but you know, you get what I'm saying. Without the layer. Alright. I like this stuff. Yeah, I'm going to go back to using a mascara primer. Maybe not every day because it's a little more time consuming, but definitely on days I'm going out. And I'm going out tonight, so I'll touch this up before then though. But did I even finish that story? Because I got distracted when my daughter came in, but a guy who reported into me on my team, he is going to Google. Good for him. My eyelashes look long as fuck. This is great. So we're throwing him a happy hour going away party. And my husband works at Google. So he's going to come with, and Grandma is going to pick the kids up from school and feed them and all that good stuff. So that's great. Get a little bit of a break on a Tuesday. Obviously can't get too crazy because my calendar this week is insane. We're doing reviews internally, so like all of my meetings have basically doubled, and then any of my free time is spent writing reviews for the peeps on my team. Which I like. I don't know. I mean, I feel like having kids has transformed like the way that I think about time. Like I remember like during nap time, especially when they were younger, like newborn stage, that would be either a time for me to like, you know, sleep if that was necessary. But a lot of times I'd be like, okay, I've got an hour to get, you know, these 14 things done off my to-do list. And I would hustle and like get them done. But now I'm just, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it goes both ways, but I feel like lately it's been like, I've got an hour or 30 minutes in between meetings, and I just kind of like emotionally am exhausted, so I just sit there and I'm just like, I've got 30 minutes. What am I going to do? It almost feels like 30 minutes is not enough to accomplish anything, so why do anything at all? Like that kind of mindset, and that has put me in a place of like having meetings all day long, but feeling like you're not accomplishing anything. And then I'm looking for my curling iron. And then, just like feeling like you didn't do anything, but then it's like you were busy all day, and then you have a list of things that you have to do, like writing all the peer reviews and stuff, the people on your team, and all of that. Okay. Sorry for that chaos. I just need to get my life together today. Alright, so if y'all joined the stream yesterday, you saw how I just kind of touched up my curls. That is basically what I'm going to do today, because I'm not trying to add in, I'm not trying to have too much heat on my hair still. It's got a good amount of volume left in it. It's not greasy or oily because I washed it about 2 days ago. And I usually only wash my hair about once a week. I am still going to add a little bit of a dry shampoo to the top just because why not? That's usually where, you know, it gets a little oily at the crown and then maybe underneath here a little bit. And this will just help as the day goes on as I inevitably touch my hair and move it around. All right, so adding a little bit of that texture in at the scalp area. And then, because we always want to protect our hair, adding in a little spritz of heat protectant. This is the Way heat protectant. add that in. And then I am gonna just pull this section up and do half C's. Yesterday, if you tuned in for touch-ups, I just kind of like grabbed large sections of hair and curled those. And that was because the curls from the day before had really held, but this is like 3-day-old curled hair and it's not holding as well. It probably would if it was long enough for me to like put it in like a bun, like a, a neat bun with like a scrunchie or something. That's what I used to do and it would hold really well when my hair was longer, but it's too short right now that it just kind of like jets out. And just like bends and crimps and stuff instead of, flowing gracefully like the mermaid hair that I once had. It's not quite hot yet. All right, while I'm waiting on that, I'll go ahead and do my lips. All right, I am gonna come in later and cover that. When I get off camera, I'm gonna just straight up put some Abreva on it, but I won't do that now. I won't do that to you now. All right, I'm gonna go in. I was about to do this iconic nude, but you know what I'm gonna do the iconic nude just to shape the lip. But then I'm gonna go back and do something a little crazier. Oh, that cold sore is so gross. I can't get over it. All right. All right, so I just used the Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude to outline the lip and shape it. I'm going to go back in with this NYX shade in Rose and just kind of draw over it, not going to the very edge, like going like 3/4 over it towards the inside of the lip. And I'm doing that because I want kind of like a gradient. Like I want that darker line on the outside to really define the lips, but then I want it to kind of melt off and pull in the pinks from my eyes. Since I'm wearing that pink dress tonight and we're just going for all pink. All right. But what I've noticed on me personally, when I do a lighter pink lip like this, that if I use a pink all the way to the edge, it doesn't define my lips really well and almost kind of washes me out. All right, so I just used the NYX Filler Instinct in Miami Nights, and I'm gonna go back over it with this Lawless Forget the Filler Plumping Gloss because it's like got a nice rosy pink to it. And I want the lips to look super full and noticeable today. So this has that like, that tingly sensation because it's blowing those babies out. It says Lawless, Forget the Filler Lip Plumping and Smoothing Gloss. So smooth those babies out. All right, so that's a nice like pinky, pulls in the pink from the eyes, wearing a pink dress, so cute, right? Pink all over. All right, so now it is time. I'm not gonna go, like if this was the first day curls, I would section this hair a lot smaller. I would care that that part just fell out of the barrel, all of that. But it's, this is third day hair and we're just touching it up. I care to the degree that I am sectioning the hair off, which is something I didn't care to do yesterday because the curl was a little bit more intact, but this is a couple days of sleeping on it now, so not so much. But I am using just much broader sections of hair because they've already been curled, and if I don't get everything, like some of the natural wave or bend that it has in it, like it'll look like a curl when it's all blended in with the rest, So I'm just being a little more carefree about it. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so we're gonna do that on this side. I am hoping that when I get off this stream that I can spend some time drinking my coffee and catching up on Twitter, because I really want to know what's going on in Ukraine. I saw a brief snippet of President Zelensky's address to the European Union or European Parliament, and that was heartbreaking, to say the least. I am hopeful that something comes from that, and that we can send better aid to the people of Ukraine than what we have done thus far. I understand sanctions and sending military aid is helpful, but I think there's a whole lot more help we've got to offer. And at this point, I mean, hearing the stories of the Russian soldiers who quite literally have no idea what they're doing in the country or have been fed propaganda to keep them in line or keep them in the dark is upsetting, and I'm just super hopeful that something happens to Putin quickly. All right. But I would love to get caught up on what's going on in that space, and hopefully I have a little bit of time before my morning meetings to start to do that. There's folks like internally, not on my immediate team, but in my broader team, who have friends and family in Belarus, Russia, Ukraine. And there's actually somebody on my husband's team who is from Russia, whose mom is in Moscow, and they can't get her out because, no one's letting Russia fly in their airspace. And they have plenty of friends in Ukraine who he said he was texting with, and as he was talking to them, they would just say things like, "Oh yeah, another bomb just hit," and like, I can't imagine being in a situation like that. I mean, it's completely unprovoked and unthinkable. So I'm really hoping to hear of peaceful resolution soon, but I also am practical and know that we're dealing with what was the phrase? An evil, feeble-eyed dictator, feeble-eyed man. Both words fit. All right. Okay. Almost done. So still large text, but this really refreshed the hair too. And because it's got a little bit of, a lot bit of hairspray from the past couple days of me curling and recurling, it's holding pretty well. And I will go through with my fingers and brush all that out, but I'm just letting it sit for a minute. If I was not, I'm going out, like I said, for a going away happy hour for the person on my team who's leaving, but if I was not doing that, even if I was heading into the office, the likelihood of me recurling this hair would have been low. I'm trying to put as little heat and stuff on it as possible, and I would have probably just brushed it out and gone with more of a body wave that it had to avoid having to put too much more heat and tease and stuff into it. Whoops, so. That alone is not a bad curl. I could have twisted the majority of the hair into a curl like that, and it just would have looked natural and subtle. But, I'm going out tonight, so I'm adding a little bit more because it will fall throughout the day anyway, and just putting a little bit more effort in since I'm going to see some peeps. And I'm trying to make up for the fact that I have a massive cold sore on my nose. So there's that. All right, beautiful, stunning. Ugh, no, not in my lip plumping gloss. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna do a quick spray of the Oribe, what are you? Super fine, strong hairspray. And that stuff is incredible. I have been an advocate, like would die on a hill any day for the Big Sexy hairspray, which still, like, definitely a more affordable option, and it's very, very good. But now that I've tried that Oribe, that's gonna be hard for me to walk away from. I got it on sale at the Sephora sale when it was like 20% off, and I think next time that sale happens, doesn't it usually happen in April? Isn't that right? There's one in April usually, and then one like in October, November timeframe. When that sale happens again, I think I'm gonna buy like 2 or 3 of them just to have extra to get them at a little bit of a discount, because it is like, I think it's like $45 for a thing of hairspray. I mean, in its defense, you don't need a ton. Like, I feel like I used to spray a lot more hairspray to make it hold as well as this stuff is. But it still is pricey. I mean, no matter how you slice it, it's a pricier product. And so just to try to get it a little cheaper, I would purchase it at the Sephora sale, or if I can find it, you know, online through an Oribe sale, which doesn't seem to ever really happen. I have seen it at Nordstrom too, on the Nordstrom sales occasionally. They'll have it like in a box, like a gift box type thing with some of the other popular Oribe products, which that actually might be worth it too, because every product I've tried through them I love, like literally everyone. There's almost like too much hairspray from the past few days. All right, so I'm gonna leave it at that. This will kind of fall throughout the day, and I'll come in and like tousle it and break it up a little bit, but this will do for now. Okay, and last but not least, as we talked about at the beginning of the show, setting spray. All right, so hoping that will set and keep the majority of my makeup in place throughout the day, and then after my morning meeting and appointment, I will head into the office. So I'll probably touch up a little bit, maybe a little bit of translucent powder, and push that into the areas where, you know, tends to get a little more shiny, to help prevent that, since I will be at the office. And I don't know about you, but I don't take makeup with me when I go places. Like, at that point, you know, it's been done. The work has been done. I don't know how much more I can do. So, yeah. Okay, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. All right. Okay, I need that to like break up a little bit. It looks a little too chunky. But thanks everybody for watching and getting ready with me this morning. If you like this content, definitely come back tomorrow. I do makeup with Meesh every morning, so I live stream my makeup as I'm getting ready for work, and would love for you to join me. You can jump in the chat and ask about products, or just share thoughts, and we can chat while we all get ready for work. So be sure to come back here tomorrow around 8 a.m. If you want to get a notification of when I go live, be sure to subscribe and also hit the bell so that you can get that notification every time I post a new video or go live. And also like this video when it goes up on my channel. That is super helpful. All right, thanks guys, and have a great Tuesday. See you tomorrow. Bye.